Welcome back to Nick Lenz Comic Corner Classic, Last Known Classics. This is episode number 20, I think it's like 20, 28, 22, and Doubleshot number 26, 16. Now, there'll be some shortening in these ones because there's a lot of issues to discuss here. Because I am discussing from Action Comics issues 693 to 702, Superman Volume 2 issues 84 to 92, Avengers of Superman 506 to 516, and Superman the Man of Steel issues 27 to 34. You're thinking, why are you kind of sure of that one? Everyone else is about the same. Well, because those two are part of different crossover. We'll discuss that at Full Length Comic Corner. So 506 basically is, well, it's Superman interacting with Superboy. It's basically indirectly a loose ender for the Superboy ongoing series done by Carl Ketzler. That's the biggest thing about this issue, and the fact that Paul Westfield involved in this thing. Aside from that, is basically the first appearance of the original Bloodsport. Yes, the vigilante who Carl Kitzler created here. Yeah, Carl Kitzler now is the writer of Adventures of Superman for a little while. Moving on to 693. Yep. More stuff with the Eradicator this one. Yeah, we follow up with Eradicator. Which, that's the whole thing with 693. It's basically taboo with the Eradicator. In the case of 691, it is basically like all charged up. And basically, well, we also deal with the character High Tech, who actually debuted just prior to Death of Superman. And she makes a fairly brief return here. She also appears in the following issue of Man of Steel, and also appears in an issue of like Action Comics, and she doesn't really appear a lot per se. No. And mostly people are also about Lunar. We're also about a major storyline. Okay, so issue 84. This is I would say, if you read this book today, it would be very controversial. Superman Volume 284, written by Dan Jurgens, and drawn. This story here has a death. So we have Toy Man, who apparently hates children, despite the fact he makes toys. And he does something so stupid that he is probably one of the most irredeemable. Like, he's a cool villain. But this is something he has in common with Black Manta. He murders a freaking child. Yes. Unlike with the Aqua Baby, who freaking drowned. Okay, the child murdered here is not the child of the main character, like in the case of Aqua Baby. This is the son of Cat Grant, Adam Grant, where he was murdered by stabbing. Toyman stabbed Adam Grant to death. And Cat Grant, for the longest time up until Flashpoint reboot, one of her things that they wrote for the character is that she really wanted to kill Toyman. She was obsessed with killing him. Even at one point, where in the 2000s, where in order to get herself and her child, she attempted to seduce Clark Kent. Where she's wearing like a open up shirt, show off her cleavage, has apple. It's like the artist really wanted to have it where, despite the fact Clark Kent at the time was married, this is of course happened years after this, she really wanted to sleep with him. Because it's Cat Grant, of course. Yeah. I would probably say that the inspiration for turning Toyman into a child killer probably comes from Billy Kincaid from Spawn. Except he's not as cool as Toyman. Billy Kincaid is a child molester / murderer. He is absolutely disgusting of a character. Todd McFarlane, on purpose, made him an irredeemable character. There's nothing cool about him. It's like every time we see him, all the readers want him to frickin' die every single frickin' time we see him. Even though he recently came back in some of the current Spawn books. Like, I'm not sure why Dan Jurgens is for. Like, Dan Jurgens, if I see you again, I'm going to ask you this question. Why the heck did you turn Toyman into a child murderer? Yeah. Then, of course, 507 begins a storyline known as Spill Blood. Yep. Where it's basically a storyline where Superman fights blood sport for several comics. And part 2 is in Action Comics 694. Part 3 is in Superman the Man of Steel, number 29. Yeah. Part 4 is in Superman Volume 2. Actually, no. Actually, let's route that by there. Yeah, and then pretty much like 85 has it where basically Cat Grant wants to go after Toyman. Yeah, that's what she does. She doesn't kill him. And then we have a really cool issue 508 where Superman teams up with the Challengers of the Unknown. It's like, wow, 2 Superman comics where Superman teams up with Jack Kirby characters. First it's the Friend People, now it's the Challengers of the Unknown, which I love what they did here. Oh, by the way, it's called Kessler. It's really good. Who also has Action Comics, no longer Roger Stern. Issue number 695 is noteworthy for a debut of a character named Cauldron, who was actually around for a pretty good period of time in the comic. He basically appeared like one at a time after this. And that was in Action Comics 731, and that's when he was destroyed. Yeah, it's like, okay, let's bring this guy, create this character, and then do nothing with him for like 5 years. Yep. And then we have, let's have Superman versus Lobo in issue 30 of Superman and Steel. Then we continue over into Legion 63, where we have the rematch. I'm like, that's cool. And then in issue 86 of Superman, it's basically a relaxing issue. Nothing crazy like the previous 2 issues. And moving on to 509, where it's Superman versus a guy named Massacre, who killed off a character named Aaron, who debuted in Superman, The Legacy of Superman, and he died in this issue. We have debut a character named Massacre, just an alien who got killed off during Our Worlds at War. Yes, in the very same comic, where I believe they kill off Maxima. Yeah, they came off the same issue they killed Maxima. Mm-hmm. Yep. Moving on to Action Comics 586, we have Superman in space, and it's like a lot of these later issues, are just build up to a big event we're gonna talk about soon. And we have Obsession, where basically the whole thing is, more build up toward the big storyline, where it was Underdwellers, and then we have the Bizarre World story arc. Bizarre World had this thing where the logos turn backwards. It starts in Superman Volume 287. Part 2 is in Adventure Superman 510. Part 3 is Action Comics 697. Part 4 is issue 32 of Superman and Steel. And Part 5 is in Superman Volume 2, number 88, which kind of wraps up the story, which also involves the apparent death of Bizarro. Moving over to 511, where we have another character who Superman teams with, and this is a character who is a regular recurring character in Superman comics, the Guardian. Yep, has the achievement of the Guardian. I'm like, that's awesome. There's more Underworld stuff. I'll get to that. And Superman's power is going to Fritz in issue 698. In issue 33 of Superman, the Man of Steel, where he basically becomes a hulking brute for a couple of storylines. A couple of comics. Yes, it continues over in Superman 89. Yeah, it was a really bizarre idea for this one. We're at 512, where Superman has the rematch of the Parasite. $6.99 begins the storyline that I've been mentioning for a little bit here. The Fall of Metropolis. Yeah, where this whole storyline, it's first referred to as the Battle of Metropolis. I don't think there's a trade that collects this thing per se. I don't think so, no. The creative teams involved in this book are Roger Stern, Barry Kitson, Carl Ketzler, Dan Jurgens, Louis Simonson, John Baliva, Norman Fucci, Brent Anderson, Jackson Goose, Kurt Swan, Dan Stern, Murphy Anderson, Dennis Jenke, Drew Robertson, Paul Gross, Ron McCain, and Glenn Wilmore. It starts the first part of the storyline. The Battle of Metropolis is X number 699, Superman, Man of Steel 34, Superman number 90, which of course this involves the death of Wesker, of Paul Wesker, in a very bizarre circumstance. Part 4, Avengers Superman 513, continues over in Action Comics number 700, which is a double-sided issue, which good job as far as Superman for doing that. Part 2 is Superman Steel 35, which also is the kickoff for the L.E.G.I.O.N crossover, which is kind of weird. And they continue over Superman 91, Avengers Superman 514 includes an Action Comics 701. Basically, I would say since that the Superman, this storyline building in the background, this is most Lex Luthor's big plan, is this big humongous attack on Metropolis. Yeah, Lex Luthor tries to take on Metropolis. And, like, there's also a subplot involving Wesker. He wants to get rid of the Underdwellers. And then he's killed by a poison gas by a crazy scientist. And as a trophy, he keeps his right ear as a trophy. I'm like, what the heck is this? All because he wanted to kill people part of the, basically people who live in the sewers. It's like, I would say that the creators are partially inspired by Mutant Massacre for the storyline. Though at least I gotta admit this, at least it's not like people kill like freaking crazy like it was Mutant Massacre. I would say that Jurgens was loosely inspired by Mutant Massacre, but I don't think he ripped off the storyline. No. But I do appreciate the storyline. It has great pacing in it. The artwork is fantastic. I'm going to give the major storylines, both Fall of Metropolis and Battle of Metropolis, a 10 out of 10 because it was excellent. Yep. And there's other books that took place during the events of this, where I'll probably discuss this at some other point. Oh, and the Battle of Metropolis, this book, it nothing to do with what happened in the crisis. And also, basically, it's like, oh yeah, Lex was a war suit in 701. Yep. And skip over, and then we have Massacre Metropolis. Yeah, where Massacre is back, and this is right after the really good Bad Metropolis stuff. I thought it was awesome. I loved it. Yeah, and it continues for a couple issues. Yep. And then we have Superman vs. Bloodsport again. In issue 702. And that's it. Yeah, we have a lot of really good storylines here. It's like we have like 3 major storylines. And here's the weird thing related to this stuff. We have Bizarre World, Fall Metropolis, Battle Metropolis. 3 major storylines. And a lot of what we'll discuss in our comic corner, but damn, it's like, it's a great period of time to read this stuff. But here's the dumb thing related to these comics. Well, none of them are in trade. There is no trade to collect these things. These awesome storylines. And yet, not in trade. Don't know why. Now, the main reason why I'm mainly discussing Superman Man of Steel 35 and 36 is because it's what World's Cloud discussed that in the full length comic corner, which that's a much bigger crossover and involves about the same amount of comics, so I figured I'll say that for that one. I mean, let's discuss a lot of this, but I enjoy these comics. Like I keep mentioning before, I'm not a big fan of Superman, but I do enjoy reading his comics. Yes, I do enjoy reading his comics because these comics are pretty competently written, and well, I enjoy them. I'm going to give all these books here a 10 out of 10. Just excellent stuff here. Yep. So yeah, that's a good review. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn notifications, and do not hit this like button. I'm going to go ahead and get Fatal Frame out of the way next, just so I don't hear about this tomorrow. Okay? Next video. Bye.